On October 9th, TommyInnit started a Twitch stream on the Dream SMP like he normally would. The stream started with Quackity discovering Tommy's secret Prime Path project, an underground tunnel connecting Manberg and Pogtopia. After this incident, Tommy and Quackity got to talking. They began to discuss Manberg's lack of funds until Quackity started to ask too many questions about the underground Prime Path. Tommy eventually got rid of Quackity by giving him white dye that he dubbed drugs. As Tommy continued construction on his tunnel, he heard footsteps in the distance. After further examination, he found that his colleagues WilburSoot's and Tubbo were cutting off his path's connection with Pogtopia. They had created the illusion that the path kept going without taking the turn that headed to Pogtopia. Tommy was confused and a bit irritated, rightfully so, as his project was being sabotaged by his own friends that he thought were on his side. After a short argument, Wilbur launched a hurtful line at Tommy. He said, and I quote, "There is a reason why you are not president, and never will be." I mean, a lot of people say this in their videos, but actually none of the people that watch my videos are actually subscribed to my channel, so make sure you do that thing. Also, make sure to join my Discord server. I'm doing a Q&A video where I'll be answering questions from the Discord, so make sure to get your questions in before it's too late. A silence fell over their voice chat, and Tommy started to walk in the opposite direction, back towards Manberg. He once again ran into Quackity, who he decided to slay with little thought. After killing Quackity, Tommy left the call and recapped the prior events with his chat. Tommy began to talk to his chat about how maybe he wasn't strong enough and how maybe Wilbur was right. He got right back to working on his path, taking down the walls that Wilbur and Tubbo had created to cut it off. As Tommy continued work on his path, he found that his two friends had cut off other sections of it. He was even more angered, but he decided to join a call with Jschlatt regardless. Tubbo, Quackity, and Wilbur were also in this call, which turned out to be a mistake as Tubbo ended up exposing Tommy's path throughout the conversation. All the participants of the call traveled into Tommy's tunnel and ended up destroying one of Wilbur and Tubbo's roadblocks, finding Tommy and his secret portion of the path. This turn of events exposed Wilbur and Tubbo's true intentions, as they were only ever trying to help Tommy keep his path a secret. Eventually, Tubbo distracted the group and pulled them away from the secret path, convincing Jschlatt and his cronies that the path was made to benefit Manberg. The group eventually returned to the surface of Manberg, though Tommy could not join them as he was forbidden entry to the nation. Tommy gave the group a minute or so to get back to their antics before he went through the entrance hatch and escaped through Manberg and back to the public property of the Dream SMP. Jschlatt and his cronies ended up discussing plans for a so-called Manberg festival, so Tommy decided to travel to the top of a tower to spy on them. When he got to the top of the tower, he found Wilbur looking down on the group, clearly with the same intentions as Tommy. Jschlatt went on and on about his plans for the Manberg festival, with his followers listening to his speech. Tommy considered firing at Jschlatt from a distance, but ultimately changed his mind and went back to peacefully listening. After this event, Tommy and Wilbur headed to their secret base in Pogtopia, and on the way they discussed what had just happened. It occurred to Wilbur during this walk that maybe him and Tommy were the bad guys. It suddenly crossed his mind that they took power forcefully when they first formed Manberg, and that they had done a list of other negative things, while Jschlatt had taken power legally and democratically, and had only tried to improve the nation by taking down the walls and getting rid of all the illegal activity. Wilbur then suggested that they embrace their newly discovered evil role in the server by bombing the upcoming Manberg festival. Tommy was unsure of and quite frankly disturbed at Wilbur's plan, though he promised to follow him as long as it was for the best. But he would later find out that the plan was not for the best. But then occurred the turn of events that would either destroy or save Manberg and Dream SMP. As he was walking, Tommy ran into Wilbur and Dream discussing the plan to bomb the festival. And Dream wasn't just listening, he was actually working out a deal with Wilbur, planning to supply him with the TNT and other necessary resources to carry out this attack. Tommy tried to explain to Wilbur the wrong and evil in his plan, ultimately trying to convince him to shut it down. But Wilbur was too far gone, so he and Dream eventually left the voice chat, reminding Tommy one more time that he was expected to help carry out the bombing. Of course, Tommy didn't want to go through with Wilbur's plan, but he also didn't want to abandon Wilbur and potentially lose his trust. Tommy then once again reinforced the fact to his stream that he planned to go along with Wilbur, but that he was not going to help blow up Manberg. Tommy decided to meet up with the only person he knew he could still trust, his friend Tubbo. The two friends met at Tommy's original base and sat at their iconic bench that had been on the server for a long time. Tommy explained to Tubbo the situation with Wilbur as they listened to Tommy's mellow high music disc. The conversation was going fine until Tommy realized that some of his discs, the ones that he had worked very hard to finally have in his possession, weren't genuine. Instead, they were duplicates acquired and given to him while Wilbur convinced him that they were the real ones. This was when Tommy and Tubbo finally decided that Wilbur couldn't be trusted and that they needed to leave him, at least until he was back to his normal self once again. They couldn't let him attack the Manberg Festival, it just wouldn't be right. Near the end of Tommy's meeting with Tubbo, Jschlatt and his cronies arrived, wondering why Tubbo was with Tommy as they were supposed to be enemies. The two came up with a cover story, convincing the gang that there was no foul play going on. Eventually, Jschlatt's group subsided, and thus Tommy left the scene, riding off into the distance on his majestic horse. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you all for the growth recently. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to chat with you guys. See you all next time, and peace out.